Welcome to another week in my kitchen, where I constantly try to keep my fussy family fed and happy. I'm not a big fan of any kind of fries, but these are sort of an exception. The ingredients are nice and clean, and they don't taste fried at all. We're having them with steak, and my younger son, who doesn't like steak, will have them with lentils and corn. I'm a massive fan of healthy shortcuts. That's why, recently, I've been trying a lot of these frozen stir-fry vegetables to find our favorite. I always marinate our steak for at least half a day in olive oil, the sauce with the most unpronounceable name in the world, a little bit of pepper, white pepper, and barbecue sauce. If there's one thing in this world I hate, it's chewy meat. That's why I developed this habit of sort of massaging the steak before putting it in the marinade. Don't we all soften up after a good massage? I promise you, so does the steak. Today I topped mine with some mushroom sauce, and served with some fries, sweet corn, and the stir-fry veggies. My singing child cooked his own steak today, so please don't judge the color. And fries and lentils for the other one. And now, on to what is my favorite and least favorite recipe at the same time. Sourdough discard wraps. The ingredient list is the easy part here. You simply mix sourdough discard, full-fat Greek yogurt, olive oil, and salt. Bit by bit, you keep on adding flour until the dough comes together. Without using a recipe, this takes me quite a while, but I feel like even if I use the recipe, every sourdough discard will be slightly different, and every type of flour is different. Which makes me think I would still have to eyeball it a little bit. I definitely notice that the amount of liquid the dough will absorb is different when I use white flour, spelt flour, rye flour, or different mixes of these flours. And I never know which one I'll be using the next time. So why rely on a recipe? Cooking and baking seems sort of like living your life to me. There is no perfect recipe for it. There are some rules which generally work, but the best things happen when you do things your own way. While the dough is resting, because this is one that doesn't need to rise, I'm preparing Greek salad. Even something as simple as Greek salad tends to split our family at least in a half. That's why, first I prepare it only with cucumbers, peppers, and feta. My older son doesn't like tomatoes, so this is how he prefers his Greek salad. Cucumber, pepper, and feta cheese only. He used to go crazy for onions only until quite recently, which was an extra task for me to chop them up. Nobody else really wants them, but now he doesn't like them anymore, so that saves me one step. Once I separate out his portion, I chop up some tomatoes and add them. This is how I make two different versions of the same thing, so that everybody can enjoy it. I'm making some lentil burgers for my boys to go with the Greek salad and the wraps. First, I mash the pre-cooked lentils enough so that they don't recognize them, and then I add grilled pepper paste, tomato paste, and an egg. When the liquid ingredients are combined, I add breadcrumbs and grated cheddar. If you have fussy eaters at home, but they like cheese, this is the key to success, adding a ton of cheese to whatever you are cooking. It definitely works at our house. I also keep on adding breadcrumbs until everything seems like it's gonna hold shape, and then I form the patties. You could easily make these in the oven or in the air fryer, However, if I'm making something for my boys which is already sort of healthy-ish, like these type of patties, I rather fry them in a little bit of olive oil to make them taste a little more acceptable to the teenage taste buds. Unless you go overboard with the breadcrumbs, they don't even tend to absorb a lot of the cooking oil, and whatever is excess will be absorbed by the kitchen towels. And now, onto the sourdough discard wraps. In our fussy family, it's very difficult to find something that we all love. There are quite a few things we can compromise on, and we all eat them. However, something that we all enjoy and really look forward to eating, now that is a rare find at our house. And these wraps are one of those rare finds. I'm pretty sure all of us would be happy to eat them even daily. If only they didn't take a little eternity to prepare. Every time I'm preparing these wraps, I can't help thinking about one thing. There is 4 of us. Now imagine a place where this sort of flatbread comes from, and a mom preparing this meal for her numerous family. Seriously, imagine a family with 8 children, half of them hungry teenagers. What labor of love it must be to prepare enough flatbread for all of them. At least I hope I'm correct when I imagine cooking in these parts of the world would be a bonding, sisterly sort of activity, unlike in my case, flipping countless flatbreads alone in my kitchen, far, far away from any extended family of mine. But let's not turn this into a pity party, let's turn it into a dinner party instead. And tonight we're serving lentil patties and wraps with hummus. I probably don't have to tell you that while I was cooking the wraps, they were disappearing continuously. That's why for the actual dinner, I don't need to serve that many. I'm adding some pear for my younger son who doesn't like Greek salad, so he won't be eating it. Just a slightly bigger portion for my older son, even though I have to say he was the wrap thief number 1. And at last, some Greek salad with added sweet corn for myself, and some empty wraps because I'm not the biggest fan of hummus. Another fussy dinner tackled. And to tackle a couple of breakfasts and snacks for this week, let's make a protein cherry cake. Just because I had some extra time, I decided to separate the egg whites and the egg yolk this time. I wanted to see if whisking the egg whites stiff will make the cake any softer. Softness and fluffiness is always a bit of an issue when adding a lot of protein powder to the cake. We'll see at the end. For now, let's whisk some egg yolks and sugar together. Usually, I mix everything by hand. I have to say, I have a hard time with the racket that the hand mixer makes. In fact, as soon as I added the flour, I had to switch it off and continue whisking everything by hand. Once well combined, I added some plant milk and approximately an equal amount of vegetable oil. My favorite thing to add to breakfast cakes? Thick Greek yogurt, full of protein. I don't know the baking science behind this, but I feel like replacing a part of the flour with cornstarch makes any cake better, and vanilla custard powder is basically just vanilla flavored cornstarch. I'm also adding 2 scoops of vanilla protein powder and baking powder. My mom always told me to roll any fruit I want to add to a cake in flour beforehand so that it wouldn't sink to the bottom. I'm not sure if it works, but if mom tells you something, you do it, okay? I gently combine the yolky part and the egg whitey part, hoping not to break the structure of the egg whites too much, and at the same time wondering, who on earth was the first person who had the idea to whisk the egg whites until they became stiff? Did you ever wonder about that? One of life's biggest mysteries that I would love to have the answer to. I mean, they didn't even have blenders or mixers back then. Who on earth whisked the egg whites by hand for long enough? Who? Why? Share your theories in the comments, please. Anyhow, cherries on the cake, cake in the oven, cake out the oven, cake in Tupperware, ready for the week. Is it softer? I don't know. I won't be whisking the egg whites anytime soon again. Thanks for watching and see you soon!